Oh my goodness. Okay, we are recording now.
Got it.
All right.
All right.
Jeff, you want to
Halloween.
start with the
Ooh, that was a
speakers?
scare.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Mr. Dickey with the Halloween
Oh,
event.
okay.
Right.
Last year, we had, we tried to, for the students who were in person, we were allowing them to dress up, and we went over appropriateness of costumes, and we did do some sort of trick-or-treating with the students in all grades last year. And we really wanted to do that again in a little bit of a different way. So we are having a spooky celebration where homeroom teachers will be going over the appropriateness of costumes and or a theme, if they would like to do that. There's going to be some homeroom parties and then something called a trunk or treat, where we'll be using the schoolyards and some of our staff members' trunks that will be decorated where the kids can go around and do some trick-or-treating. In addition to that, the band, Mr. Altieri had asked for the band to play. And then there'll also be a spooky story contest that will be happening in ELA. So we want to make sure that, you know, it's appropriate, but fun, have some really nice activities that are going on. I'm still thinking of my costume. I hope maybe Winnie, you can join. Jessica, Winnie, come on, let's come up with something.
Yes.
I've already squashed
We need
Squid
a
Games.
theme.
All the kids want to do Squid Games. I've already
I
squashed
know.
that.
I want to go
Um,
on record. I want to go on record and say that I have my reservations, but I am in full support of all of the events.
Yes, I mean, we will be going over in the academy prep as well to make sure what appropriate means. So that, you know, we can do this and have a fun activity. I mean, staff, we dressed up last year. We had a lot of fun with it. And I think it'll be a nice event for the students. And I think the trunk or treat and having the kids outside performing and we're still talking about having some interactive games for them in the schoolyard, so that the day, you know, is a fun day for the students. But also to get to know each other more. Some of the sixth graders were still saying they didn't know the names of the students in their class or in other classes. So we're also doing an activity tomorrow where it's a mixer, where some students will be able to go outside, do some team building activities and get to know each other's names, to be able to then come back and create some strong friendships. So those are two things that are happening within the next few weeks. Tomorrow is the mixer activity, and then the 29th will be the spooky day that we'll be having with the kids. Jeff, what are you going to be?
I don't know. There was some
You
talk
can be
about.
an M&M.
Yeah, I heard about that. Not the
Samantha
M&M,
Ong wants him to be an M&M.
Yeah.
I
swatted
shirt that fits me. I will wear it.
many of the teachers were saying, maybe we should all be a part of the Squid Game. And then I could be the one that does red light, green light. And then Mr. Berman could be the one in the mask. I was like, oh, I don't think.
I've never seen Squid Game. Is it good?
Just watch
It's
the
quite
trailer.
violent. It's very violent. So I totally said no about that.
Good.
But yeah,
I'm not a fan.
I think you should be Darth Vader, Mr. Berman.
Yes.
That'd be a great Darth Vader. You'd be good.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
yeah. So hopefully we'll have a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun. Are we doing like the whole candy thing too, or
Yes.
like a lot of candy? Okay.
Yes. We'll talk
He's
about
excited
that.
about that.
I'm very excited about that.
Nothing peanut oriented, Mr. File, please.
Why
Nothing
not?
with peanuts. No peanuts.
Oh, peanuts. Peanuts are no good. Oh, good.
All right.
No
So
peanuts.
I guess.
But I think it sounds wonderful, and I think it's a great way for the kids to be able to socialize and do normal kid things
Yep.
that they probably haven't been able to do in a long time. So,
That's right.
if ever.
And have some fun. All right.
Yeah.
So also on the agenda, I put guest speakers only because one parent volunteered to come in and speak about, you know, he's a lawyer, speak about being, you know, he was a prosecutor, a defense attorney. He said he could get us judges. And that led me to think maybe some of the other parents would know interesting people to speak to classes, you know, in light of the fact that, you know, trips are obviously limited, assemblies are obviously limited. If we could get some parents that want to come in that are vaccinated, and could entertain
Well,
kids.
what I hear, Mr. File, is I hear you volunteering to organize the parents who might want to do that. So why don't we put together an email? We can send it out with a link to perhaps a Google form so that parents could indicate their interest. And then you have a way to sort of compile who's interested and who we can connect them with. So initially, maybe you want to connect them with you, but at some point, hopefully you'll have so many people that we can just connect them with point people in the departments or in the areas that they might be interested in.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool.
it might be, kids always like that, in my experience.
Yeah.
And it might be a way to, you know, enliven things a little bit. Like maybe we can have like some level of career day instead of doing it in the auditorium. They could
Well, it's
show
an
up.
outstanding way to bring the real world to the classroom for the students so that they can see that there may be opportunities out there for them that they haven't really even thought of. I mean, you know, beyond, for example, a lawyer, which would be great, especially for your law program. And certainly if they can talk
How you
about
doing? Yeah.
particular things. So great.
Sorry, I was just saying hello.
Super. That's okay.
All right, so Winnie, maybe we'll meet up tomorrow and take a look at this little project.
Yeah.
Winnie's a very good
Work on
partner
that.
for this stuff.
Also,
Don't say a
Jeff,
word,
you're gonna
Mr.
type
D.
it? Jeff, are you going to type it?
Yes, I'm going to type it after I've.
Winnie?
Just 2 fingers.
Do not type
Yeah.
it for him.
By the way, Miss Gasser's the fastest typist I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, ever. It's not even close.
Try and learn some things from her.
Nothing. Nothing with typing. I just was like blown away.
You know, there's this thing called Mavis teaches typing, Mavis Beacon. Remember that?
No.
We could get you to type. That's going to be my goal this year. It's going to be to get you to be able to type.
I could type, just not like that. So
Let's go on.
So for the parents, but you know, just before we go, for the parents that are here, if you have any ideas or you would like to volunteer, you know, like even to like Vito, you could talk about, you know, law enforcement, you know, tell some stories, get
I
the
was
kids
just gonna
worked
ask-
up.
So I was gonna say maybe we could reach out to like the precinct and have like one of the like cops come here as well for that day.
Yeah,
So Jeff, is this a serious conversation? Because I'd like to speak on that because I have some thoughts.
what's that?
Are you serious about, I have some thoughts about something I'd like to speak about if you're being serious or not being
Of
serious.
course I'm being serious. Why not?
Vito,
I mean,
think-
you can speak about anything. You've done a lot of different things. I just thought, you know, those stories could be a lot of fun. Like,
Well,
yeah, sure.
so I know we read Ghost Boy over the summer. I'd really like to speak about the real life incident that may or may not have inspired that event. And that was the 12-year-old who was killed
Mhm.
playing with a gun. And specifically, my POV would be how that, is everybody familiar, and this is something that's so funny, dude, it's so funny that I've been trying to formulate this in my mind as a presentation that I would do as a podcast or a video cast. Is everyone familiar with the Swiss cheese model of accidents? Anybody know what that is?
No.
So take a slice of Swiss cheese and it's got all these holes. And in any complex endeavor, whether it's plane crashes or surgery or actually policing, there's things that there's omissions and there's commissions. And every step in the way is represents by a slice of Swiss cheese. And the Swiss cheese has holes, and those holes would represent either an error of omission or an error of commission. And the problem is when you put the Swiss cheese is on one on top of another, you know, you get away with a lot of stuff. And I'm sure it's the same in the DOE as well, except every once in a while, those Swiss cheese holes line up. And that represents when a tragedy happens. And so what I would say was with that child, there was so many things that just had to happen a certain way for that kid to die, and to discuss really how that it wasn't just the officer who did something or didn't do something, it was this whole string of events that came together in just the right way to have a tragic outcome. And
Well, I think that's also
really
part of the exploration of the text that I think happens. as well. Although, I mean, our teachers are doing this,
Yeah.
this one for the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But if that's something that you
But-
feel
but-
interested, I certainly would run it by Mina or someone else and,
yeah, I think it's certainly something worthy to pursue. And I think the whole idea of having parents come in and certainly from their perspective as a lieutenant or as an engineer or as a scientist or as a whatever, mechanic, whatever it might be, provides, I think, exciting experiences for students. But I also see that this has something particularly, I guess, relevant to current times and a certain poignancy for children. So yeah, I think that's good, and I do think having sort of a database, and I know we've talked about this, but let's sort of do that and have parents who want to come in for different things. So thank you, Mr. Labella. I think that's
Yeah,
great.
that'd be great. And even for kids to understand that life is not about a simple narrative, which, you know, a lot of things seem the way you're describing it. They see the complexity of something. I think that's really valuable. So yeah, I mean, I think that'd be great, especially when the kids who have read it could hear your perspective on it. I am serious. I think that'd be really good. We could bring you in, Vito. So
Vito, if you touch base with me, I can arrange it with the ELA teachers.
so it was, did your, just the law kids do it or did everybody do it? I know.
No, everyone did. I mean, we do have the law program that, you know, the students did read it. So you could specifically
Well-
go to the law classes, or it could be something, you know, it could be.
So
school
you and I will talk and we'll figure
Uh-huh.
it out because I really want to do a good job and I'd love your help with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would love it.
Super.
all right. So my phone keeps shutting down. Hold on. All right, next on the list is family events engagement. That's something, Winnie, did you speak to Brianne about that today?
I did not get a chance to hear back from her.
Okay,
If you could touch on it briefly, and maybe we'll have something to present next week, or next time, or
Oh, yeah.
if Ms. Gasser
So-
can join next time.
yeah, I don't have all the details on it, but that's why I was hoping, you know, I had a busy day too, so I didn't really get a chance to discuss this. I know that Ms. Gasser had a professor that she was communicating with as far as setting up like events for families to try to, I don't know, I guess build community. And sometimes even within the family, you know, a lot of our families are very busy. They work long, long hours. And if given an opportunity to have like a family event with their kids in sort of an organized, fun way. And one of her professors has a plan and does that in a district in New Jersey. And, you know, Brianne usually has a really good eye for what's a good idea. And she thinks it would be really cool and it would maybe be really good for our community. I don't have too many details beyond that. Mina, I'm sure you've heard about this, right? I don't know if you have all those details either.
It would depend upon what our need area is, and she would do parent workshops as well as workshops with the student and the parent, depending upon what we would want, either as SEL, it could be a variety of different things. She would meet with us first, look at our data, look at our responses from the survey, and then from what our initiatives are, she would be about planning on how to incorporate the parents into our initiatives.
Yeah,
I
so
think that was I was going to say, I think that's the parent university that she was talking about.
Yeah.
right. So as we develop that, we would definitely want to get some leadership team parents involved with that. And, you know, it sounds like something that would really benefit our school and that people might enjoy as well. Victoria, am I seeing you twice? Oh, there you are. You got me completely confused.
Out. I switched devices.
Okay. I just thought you were messing with me. Traffic around the school.
By the way, before you go on to that, there is a website which I will share in the chat, which I do believe is for the NYC Parent University. So you can take a look at that if you'd like to know a little bit more about that in advance. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. File.
I just said next on the list was traffic around the school.
Yeah.
Which, I think there's been an improvement, but still not perfect, but an improvement since our last meeting. Would you say?
Oh yeah, no, it's been, the parents have been much more cooperative, and really I think the problem that we have now is really the biggest problem I would say is twofold. Just cars that just park in the bus zones, and they're not parents at this point. For the most part, they're people, either neighbors or visitors in the neighborhood who park and just leave their car there. We do have the number for traffic enforcement. There was a minivan there all day today who did get summoned, so they do come. So that's really been okay. What I did want to bring up was I did put in a request through the Department of Transportation's website for a stop sign on the corner of 12th Avenue and 64th Street. Senator Gennardis was super helpful in getting us the crossing guard. I'm going to be forwarding him the information about the stop sign request, and perhaps I don't know if he has the ability to expedite the study that they need to do, but perhaps he does. So I'll get that out there. That corner can be quite scary. There is a yield to pedestrians sign on both sides, which means if someone's in the crosswalk, you have to stop. But I don't think most, let me not say that. I think that there are many drivers who don't know that that's what that yield sign means. So a stop sign would be real helpful in that regard. So that was just an update on that.
NIA updates. I'd like to get John Hederman over here. Let me see if I get him on the walkie.
Sure. And while you're doing that, I want to bring up a sort of a side issue in case it comes up, and I wanted to just sort of talk about it with our leadership team. I mean, it's been this way for a long time. I guess I want to say 2 instances where it came up this year, mostly with 6th grade families, about our bathrooms and why there's only one student bathroom on the first floor. And it had, I mean, that hasn't come up in years. And I guess in talking about it and sort of thinking about it, and you know, sort of the bathrooms that we have on the other floors are staff bathrooms, except for one bathroom, I guess, on the 3rd floor, which is really more of a storage area for custodial equipment than a bathroom. And it's never really been a problem for the students to go up and down and use the bathroom. Does anybody see that as an issue or a problem or a concern that you think we need to address? By the way, at the same time, we do have a transgender bathroom on the 3rd floor, and any of the adult bathrooms on any of the floors could certainly be used for a student in an emergency. Oh, and there's also a single bathroom on the 3rd floor for students. Mostly our ACES students use that bathroom, but I know there are students in the nurse's office who use that bathroom as well. So just sort of putting that out there. Does that sound right to you? Does that sound concerning? Do we need to do something about it? I don't know. I bring it up because I don't usually get too many things like that, but I got that one, so I figured let's talk about it.
I mean, I would assume that the first few weeks, many sixth and seventh graders really didn't know where the bathrooms were. So I could see that that would cause some concern and some worry for some students who needed to use the restroom and they were uncertain about the location. But now that I think that they know the location and they know which stairwell will get them down faster.
Yeah.
I can't foresee that being so much of an issue. I did attend a sixth grade meeting today in my academy. And the only issue that came up about the bathroom is students asking multiple periods to use the restroom. So that was something that the sixth grade teachers were a little bit concerned about, is why so many bathroom requests, during the day. So that was something, but that's very typical sixth grade thing to happen. But I could see the worry and panic in some children's faces, not knowing where the restroom was.
Right. But as far as its location on the first floor.
Yeah,
Does that
they just
seem
didn't
like
know
an
where to
issue?
go. And I haven't noticed it.
Other than not knowing where to go, because I mean,
Yeah.
that would be the case wherever the bathroom was, but take that aside.
I haven't noticed it.
Okay. Teachers, anything, any sort of feelings about
I
that?
I think the sixth grade, they got used to, because a large majority of them were remote. They got used to being able to use the restroom whenever they needed to or they wanted to, and now it's just a matter of being back in the school building where they now have to go all the way down the stairs and all the way back. Just more of an effort for them to have to put in to use the restroom, which is probably sort of something that they're not used to anymore. I think the stairs is the largest concern for them because they have to go all the way.
So they had a very civilized existence for a while.
Yes.
So they had to walk 4 steps to the bathroom, and now they have to go down 5 flights.
I mean,
Well, the irony, there is a little irony there in that the bathrooms on the first floor, the girls' room and the boys' room, those are the newest bathrooms in the school. They're actually the nicest bathrooms. They're done really nicely.
in the sixth grade meeting, the majority of the meeting was about getting the students back in the habit of certain rituals and routines about entering and exiting classrooms, being prepared, putting your backpack in a certain area, your tone of voice, what to do when you have a disagreement. So that's, just getting them into preparation for the day. So many of the sixth grade teachers had agreed upon certain entrance and exit protocols that they'll be reviewing with the kids so that they're not stopping to refocus the students. We want to get them into groups and talking as much as possible, but refocusing them and getting them back and ready to discuss. I know the sixth grade teachers will be going over that with the students. That did definitely come up as an issue that we spoke about today.
Okay, great. Well, if there's anything else, please feel free to chime in, chat, send me an email. Were you able to find Mr. Hedeman, Mr. File?
He didn't answer. Let me.
Okay, well, let's go on then. What's next?
PTO,
PTO.
Mr. Labella.
That's you, Mr. Labella. PTO update. We ready?
Hola, how are you?
Hello.
So thank you so much. So
As soon as we
it's been a crazy week. We all know what happened with the announcement on Friday with the G&T.
Right.
So that's the other hats that I've been wearing, and it's this hat too, because that's what I campaigned on 4 years ago when I started with the PTO here. It's what I've been working on incessantly for the last 4 years. SHSAT, gifted and talented screen schools. I've been pushing our schools model, which is excellence, meritocracy, and that is what's under attack, right? So today I was in Staten Island with our Congresswoman, Nicole Malatiakis, along with Assembly members Mike Tanukas, Mike Riley, State Senator Alonzo, and we had a great news conference, a presser, and a rally to try to appeal to the next mayor, whoever that might be, to just put brakes on this idiotic decision that the mayor did, and he did it on the way out the door. And somebody said it's like your friend who goes to dinner with you, and then they walk out when the bill comes, or they go to the bathroom when the bill comes, so they don't have to pay. And that's what he did. He pulled a grenade, threw it into the school, and he's walking away. So that's what I'm been worried on. That's what I've been working on since Friday. It does relate to our PTO. It does relate to my work on the CEC. It's just so hard to try to compartmentalize everything. I will say that I will transition right now and say that assemblies, we have an assembly coming. I'm so proud to say we do have an assembly coming the 28th and the 29th. It's the signature product, the signature project. It's a great assembly. We've had them before, and we're doing 4 shows over 2 days to make sure we comply with the distance guidelines. And I'm working on other assemblies, science assembly. I'm trying to see on dates with that. And what else? We're paying for air conditioners. Mr. Berman, the check's in the mail. My daughter Morgan will deliver them to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're very
Our
welcome.
teachers, thank you. And of course, most importantly, our students, thank you.
You know, I mean,
It's hard to learn when it's really, really uncomfortable. So that'll be great.
So thank you. So, and then I have to tell you, I don't like the idea that the PTO has to pay for air conditioners. Okay, it ain't right. I said horses can't work if it's over 85 degrees, and yet we have our students and our staff working in sweltering classrooms. You know, it's an OSHA violation. Did you know that the government is not really, the OSHA regulations don't apply to them? They have a little carve out. Well, it should apply to them, and they should be paying to make sure that all our facilities are comfortable year round, right? I'm sure that the brand new renovation in Tweed, it included central air so that they're nice and cool down in Tweed. Well, you know what? All of our students and staff should be as well. But I tried to elevate that, and I got nowhere, so we're paying for it.
Well, you know why.
Yeah.
You know why our school has the number of air conditioners that it has, right?
Well, I don't know.
It's because it was a district office.
Yes, of course, I know
If it
that.
was not a district office, the classrooms would not have the wiring, and there would not be air conditioners in all of the classes. It's because it was a building for adults. That's why it has air conditioning.
Yes, yes.
We were
which is
the
really sad.
benefactors of such decision, but.
So, Mr. Berman, so this is pretty creepy. Like
Yeah.
I have Kim and like a ghost
Yeah.
in here
Yeah.
behind me.
Is it
She
like a
wants to-
Squid Games thing?
This is a Halloween thing. You got to get closer.
All right. Okay.
Hi, Kim.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Hello.
It's okay.
I just was trading emails with Dan at Class Act, and he said no schools are doing class photos, as you said, and all the photographers are vaccinated, but the schools have been using Class Act's gowns. So that last year we waited till later, everybody got their gowns, but he said all the schools have been using their gowns.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all set for November 4th and 5th.
Wonderful.
We just got to put it in the book.
Great. Send me an email or just let Jennifer know, or both, and
Okay.
we'll get it out there. Thank
And-
you.
All right, and Morgan dropped off the letters with the green envelopes, and I divided them by floor, so it should be pretty easy for someone just to drop them off in each class.
Okay, super.
Okay.
Is there an online way for people to pay their
Yes.
dues yet?
There
Yes.
is.
Awesome.
Oh.
And it's on the envelope.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, I'm going back to my Halloween
you.
decorations.
Thank you, Kim. That was an
And you
update.
know,
about
I'm gonna
my
miss-
fundraiser.
I'm gonna miss your baked goods this year for Halloween, Kim. I
Well,
missed them
maybe-
last year. I'm gonna miss them again this year.
Maybe in the spring, we can do an outdoor thing. We'll try, we've got to figure something out for the kids at least once this year, when the weather.
Thank
Maybe for the
yes.
Halloween event
Yeah.
on the 29th.
Well,
Oh.
it's just, the idea of, just baked goods,
I know,
coming in
yes.
from, trust me, I asked, and it's not in favor right now.
No,
So-
that's what I'm hoping later in
Yeah.
the year, that maybe
Right.
we have
The
some. luck.
holidays or
Yeah,
certainly
Even-
by the spring. we
these
should make
anti-cupcake
changes.
people, no patience.
Thanks,
We
Kim.
We don't approve.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
Mr. Berman, if you could please ask whoever to give out those green envelopes tomorrow. It doesn't work so well when it's on a Friday, it gets lost. We found that if they go out in the middle of the week, we have a better response right away.
Yeah, well, and I'll put in the announcements for tomorrow, and I'll let the students know about it.
They were dropped off today, so everybody, we have them there.
And we should probably send an email out.
Yes,
I'll do that on for our part to encourage folks to do that. And I think serendipity is a word that comes to mind, Mr. Labella. And if you would be so kind, I know that you were the recipient of some pretty nice news today that perhaps goes hand in hand with our request for fundage. Would you like to share with our team the wonderful news that we've learned today?
so I'm going to give credit to my United Vice President, to Madeline, who is now the treasurer, the woman of every little hat. She's like the utility player of the year. She does everything we ask her to do. She sent this to me, and so I shared it in the chat right now, that Krista McAuliffe was ranked by US News and World Report as the number two middle school in the state. So we should be very proud of all of our work. And, you know, listen, it's the kids working synergistically with the teachers, working synergistically with the administrators and the staff that has this result. Okay, it's a team effort. It's parents, it's kids, it's teachers, it's administrators. That's how we get this result. And we really should try our best to recreate Krista McAuliffe in every single district in the city. But now I sound like a broken record, right? We think
Well, if I may interject for a moment, and not to exhibit any loss of humility or humbleness in that honor, it's important to be accurate, and I think it's important to note that, as in years past, in which Krista McAuliffe was the top performing middle school in New York State, I have to clarify that yes, indeed, again, when we look at middle schools that teach grades 6 to 8, Krista McAuliffe is indeed the #1 middle school in New York State. Fannie Mae, or Mamie Faye, is a wonderful school, and I give them all the credit in the world, and I congratulate them, and I'm sure they're very proud of their achievement in their K-8 school, which is quite a different environment than a 6 to 8 middle school. And so I just want to share that again, and I'm very proud of them, but I am more proud of our staff and our families, and especially our students for their hard work, because that's really what that ranking most represents. I do believe it represents the student body of Krista McAuliffe, who of course is way more than the sum of its parts. And I know this is your last year, Mr. Labella, and it's wonderful to be able to go out on top, shall we say. So congratulations to you, and congratulations really to everybody for such an amazing achievement. Well done.
All right.
Yay, thank you.
Great news. So Vito, if you're done, I'm going to swing the computer over to John Patrick Hederman with our NIA update.
Just, I have to have one more second, please, Jeff.
Sure.
If you're within the sound of my voice and you are a 6th grade parent, please contact me. We need to pass the baton. The entire executive body, SLT members, are all 8th grade parents. We really want to keep this going. We've worked so very hard. I've been doing this now for 5 years. We did a lot of great stuff. Everything, you could just keep it going very easily. We'd be happy to train everybody.
You will help everyone, won't you?
I'm sorry?
You will help them, won't you?
I will help anyone. I'll even, I won't say this too loudly, but I'll even help you next year under the, on the QT if you need anything, because I'm sure that we all would, right? I'm sure Madeline would, I'm sure that Jason would, I'm sure that we all would come in, pitch out and help train you, show you what the deal is. No worries at all.
Thank you.
So Jeff, up to you.
Okay. All right, I'm going to swing this over to John and let him give us the update.
How's it going, everybody? Sorry, I'm just running around. I figured Jeff called me. I'd get in here real fast. If anybody had any questions, I'm open to answering them. But also just a couple of things. We've been able to restart our young runners team, which is very exciting after being locked out for 2 years now. We're hoping to get that going. We've had one meeting and we'll start running next week and we'll get the children up to speed, so to say. Then also next week, we are going to, there's going to be a letter to go out. We're hoping for Tuesday, but it's not fully confirmed yet. Mr. Kaplan will be doing auditions for our fall drama entitled Reunion After the End of the World. So that has at least 15 students, if not 30 students, he's trying to get involved for the school play, hopefully to go up before Christmas in late December. And it still remains to be seen, if anyone wanted to know about that, if we're going to be able to invite families to see, or it might just have to be for students. But so we'll keep everyone posted about that. That's what we have going for now. If anyone had any questions, but otherwise, have a great meeting, everybody.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, all right. Go on.
He's brief, but he gets right to the point.
Nice.
We like his
I know.
style. All right, so I think we're up to budget.
I don't have much to update on the budget other than we've started making some purchases. We've purchased about, I want to say about $30,000 or $40,000 of replacement printing equipment that we need. And also we're putting in an order that our band teacher just submitted for about $40,000 in musical instruments. We got a lot of money earmarked for arts education, that's visual, music, and whatnot. And it's been a while since we've updated some of our musical instruments. And so, again, like I said last week, I'd like to use this money and sort of invest in our future. And so that's one of the things that I think would be a great investment of some real high quality musical instruments. So not just the beginner, you know, the cheapest ones that you can get on FAMUS or wherever. I had a conversation with our band teacher because I really wanted to be sure that there was some advantage to getting intermediate level or even advanced level instruments. And in fact, they are easier to play, easier to learn to play, and sound better, which all fits together in getting kids sounding better, more motivated, and learning quicker. So that's really what it's all about. So like I said, we're going to do a bunch of clarinets, some saxophones, trombones, flutes, and some other stuff for the kids. Normally, the children bring their own mouthpieces and they play our instrument, although a lot of students bring in their own instrument too. So we do that as a service for our families too, so that students don't have to bring expensive equipments back and forth to school. They have their own mouthpiece, but the choice is all up to theirs. So that's really good. And, you know, otherwise, you know, we're still, you know, looking for plans. We want to do some capital projects with air conditioning in the auditorium and the cafeteria. If we can do that, we're working on that. I have my eye out for any city council grants and borough president grants. It'd be nice in our borough president's last year, perhaps before he becomes mayor, he throws some love our way. Some more love, I should say, our way, and that'll be great. So that's my update for budget.
Mr. Berman, did you go over the iReady assessment at all?
I did not. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
Thank you.
We just completed our first universal assessment for the students, which I believe there are some students still taking the iReady assessment. The iReady assessment allows us to understand the skill level of the student, as well as what their current reading level is, meaning on or above or below reading level. So the teachers are in the process of analyzing that information right now to be able to make adjustments and modifications to their lesson plans and unit plans. I can tell you for ELA, the need area for the students were twofold: vocabulary, in addition to reading informational text. So that's something that the teachers will be in all departments assisting the ELA department in ensuring that students have the skills necessary to tackle informational text as well as vocabulary words when they come across it in terms of context, which all makes sense in terms of last year's instruction. We figured informational text and vocabulary would be an issue, so it was confirmed by the iReady data. Math, I know they're in the process of analyzing that data now. That is something that you can ask during parent-teacher conference, a little bit more information specifically about your child during parent-teacher conference, so the teachers will have that information readily available. Like I said, school-wide, the two need areas, largest need areas were vocabulary as well as informational text. That's what I already had shown in ELA.
Thank you, Mrs. Siddiqui. Where are we? Am I muted? No, I'm not.
No, I'm just getting back to the agenda. I don't know. Do we have any
questions?
Yeah, any questions? This was a very efficient meeting. So I think we could be out. Another nice day. People might want to go and take a walk. But if you have any questions, please let us know. Any comments? Any thoughts?
How we doing?
I have one plug.
Shoot.
I will be at Tweed on October 14th, Thursday, 12 noon. Please, if you're within the sound of my voice, join me.
Have you heard anything about admissions for next year? Or are we planning on lottery and hoping for the best the year after?
Oh, gosh. All right, so 2 seconds, I swear.
Okay.
So yeah, they haven't said anything. We can assume that it's a lottery, but in 10 days, a Wednesday, I think not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, there is a PEP meeting where the chancellor is putting forth a recommendation to state that the official policy is that non-zone schools, Krista McAuliffe being one of them, has to admit students year-round based upon a first come, first serve process. So they have to speak to the family person, that would be Bill Chin in our case. And then, you talk to Bill and first come, first serve, filling in empty seats. Well, that is such a scam. It makes me so angry because
I don't understand.
What I'm saying?
No, that are you talking about to fill empty seats?
So yes, so now
I'm talking about for incoming 6th grade next year.
I segue.
Oh,
if that's okay.
Yes.
Because it's relevant.
Yes.
So this is all part of this is all part of their strategy to tear everything down. Next Wednesday, PEP is going to vote on allowing the chancellor to change the regulation so that a school like Krista that's non-zone and other non-zone schools have to take kids on a first come, first served basis for open seats. Okay. So just to bring
any parent could say, oh, there's a seat I wanted, and they were the first one. So in effect, they're going to have a de facto waiting list because everybody on day one is going to say, I want that seat. I want that seat. Or is it like a magic, like the moles that pop up from the thing? You have to, in order to get the points, the mole has to pop up. So you have to wait for the mole to pop up, and then you have to be the one to actually hit it.
Well, I don't know, Mr. Berman, how many seats do we have in 7th grade, for example, kids that we lost to Hunter?
let's say 10.
10.
Yeah.
So in theory, there are 10 seats in Christa McAuliffe that we don't fill because it doesn't fit the criteria, right? You're not coming from out of state.
There's no process to
Tested,
fill.
blah, 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 right?
Well,
So
right, yes.
we're doing away with that process. And
Okay,
anybody who wants that seat can apply for it based upon a first come, first served basis. Here's the deal. We know who's going to take those seats, right? It's the friends of the DOE chancellor and their buddies. It's politicians and their buddies. It's
Right.
going to be really, it's going to be it's going to be full of nepotism, cronyism, and corruption. And that's just makes me so angry. So that's another thing. I'll be speaking at the PEP meeting next Wednesday.
well, good luck. I hope you get somewhere, and
Just not the right thing, Mr. Berman. You know, it's just not the right thing.
I happen to agree with you. I don't believe that would be the right thing. I don't. But all right. And parents, anyone else, any other questions, concerns, things you'd like to bring up? Ms. Ligori, thank you for sharing that article from U.S. News and World Report. That's great. I don't think we've ever made that particular newspaper before. So that's a wonderful, wonderful thing to see. And yeah. All right. Well, I'll stick around for a bit, but otherwise, everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you very, very much. And I wish you well and good luck on Wednesday, Mr. LaBella. That's not tomorrow, right? A week.
No, it's a week from Wednesday, but then we have the protest Thursday and CEC on this Wednesday is CEC. So join that as well.
Yeah, and Vito, thank you so much for, listen, it was an uphill fight with de Blasio's, very transparent agenda, but you're still throwing punches. We really appreciate it. And
Thank you.
Thank you, Vito.
you really, you never gave up. So, and you're never giving up. It's really something that
My wife says I have a thick head.
What did your wife say?
I've got a thick head.
Well, you certainly have a thick skin.
That too.
Well, again, thanks everybody, and have a wonderful day.